let me let y'all know one motherfucking thing right now. If y'all are agreeing to allow Mia to play in our motherfucking face for season 9 of Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all also better be agreeing to hear my motherfucking mouth. Let's get it going. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel, where we focus on healing, humor, and what? Hot topics. If you are here, of course, you are in the hot topics segment of my channel. Before we move any further, first of all, thank you for coming. Second of all, if you are new to my channel, please make sure you hit the subscription button. And afterwards, I want you to hit the notification bell so you can get all my motherfucking videos when they drop. Also, please hit the thumbs up on that video. The reason why I'm always begging you guys to hit the thumbs up, because it is a free, let me say that, again, it's a free way to support my channel, and it's also a free way to get me in the algorithm and get my video pumped out to the rest of the world so everybody can hear my motherfucking mouth, not just you. Also, if you have some commentary, please drop down in the comment section. I mean, you can comment as you go along. You can wait all the way to the end and comment, whatever is more comfortable for you. But if you have some commentary that you want to provide me with, some feedback, anything of the sort, please drop down in the comment section and feel free to do so. I always share with folks. I do not delete and I do not debate. Let's get the conversation going. So, today, we are here to discuss the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 3, and this is for season 8, right? So, I've been burning y'all ear off talking about season 2. Talking about reunion part 1 and reunion part 2. So this is the grand finale. And I want to start off by saying what I already said. I told you guys in part 2. I told you guys in part 1. I'm going to say it again here. Mia be lying. Like Candiace fucking said, Mia is a liar. And I do not believe 1 ounce of any of that convenient story that she came up with. But I'm going to tell you something that really aggravated me. 2 things is how invested and on board she has G. And the second thing is about them playing with mental illness. I don't like it. I do not like it and I don't believe it. Okay? I don't. It's so convenient that Gordon can act a damn fool towards Mia allegedly, and now we have an alibi for why he was playing himself, because he has a mental illness. Let me take a motherfucker. You know what? And here the kicker now. Not only do he have a mental illness, he doesn't know what happens when he has a breakdown. The only person that can see the breakdown is Mia. Mia, if you don't get the fuck out of my face with that explanation, I can't. So if Mia is going to spearhead the show for season 9, I don't know if I'm going to tune in, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly do not know. I can't. So hopefully they put some new people in place, and they also have my homegirl on Karen clock in, because I'm not going to deal with that. So anywho, like I said, I don't believe a word of it. But let me tell y'all what was so crazy, right? When they was going around, because she had the tissue, not one fucking tear came out. Gordon was actually able to pull through and make the real tears come out. Make tears come out. I won't say they was real. But I'm cracking up, because if y'all pay attention, go back and watch that part of the reunion. They going to flash around the screen. They going to flash around the room to look at everybody. And there's one motherfucker in there who knew that they were lying. And you know who that was? You would be surprised about who that was. It was Ike. It was Ike, Nneka husband. I'm telling y'all, go look at Nneka husband. Was like this. Now why y'all listening to this bullshit? He was really trying to keep it together, but see, remember, he's new to TV, so he couldn't keep his facial expression the same way. He couldn't keep it together when he tried to dive on Happy Eddie. I'm still not over that, but I'm warming up to Ike, so I was cracking up. Ike was looking at G. He was looking at Mia. He was like, "This is some bullshit here." And the rest of the cast was like, "We're so sorry, G and Mia. Hear Mia now." I mean, literally trying to force some tears out. And G was able to pull through and get them out. So I was over that whole part of it. I was like, listen, go to hell. I don't have time for that. Let's move on, right? So then they moved on. I'm looking at my notes. That's why I'm looking down, guys. Then they moved on to Nneka's package. Yo, every time I start recording, everything outside of my recording space starts happening. Like, it's subliminally telling me to shut the fuck up, bitch. But no, y'all gonna hear my mouth about this. So now they move on to Nneka's package. So they bring up that Nneka, that Karen had said to Nneka, oh, you live in North Potomac. So here goes shady ass Andy, because when they said that, they was like, okay, so did you say that, Karen? Karen was like, mm-hmm. That's what I said. That's what I meant. That's what I'm here to represent. I did say that. So here Andy shady ass, oh, well, what part of Potomac you live in then, Karen? Ray said, let me get my time card. My time card, because I'm clocking in. Boom, Ray clocked in. We live in Central Potomac. Right, Ray? Right. That's what men do for their wives. Right. Like Aunt Cameron would say, that's why I respect their institution of marriage. Because Ray said, oh, wait a minute, you got nuts. She don't got nuts, but I have nuts, and I'm here to represent for her. So, hey, boom, boom, he hit the time clock. I'm clocked in. We're in Central Potomac. Right, Ray? Right, Ray. Clock in, Ray. Clock in. So you my boy for that. You are my boy for that, because Ray said, listen, I don't let no man come for my wife. You ain't going to be shady to her. I respect the institution of our marriage. So Ray clocked the fuck in and let Andy know. Andy was like, okay, Ray. Yeah, okay, Ray. Don't try that one again. Don't be shady with my motherfucking wife. But hold on, let me take a sec. So, anywho, then as they going through Nneka's package, they was like, Nneka grew up somewhere else, and she was explaining to him, I didn't give a damn about the part. I don't give a damn about Nneka, right? But then they moved on and they brought up the shrine. So now Andy asks Nneka about coming on the show and coming through Wendy, and Wendy saying, I don't know her. Now I want to tell you something about what happened there. Wendy, with your scarecrow looking ass, you was full of shit. You was full of shit. Now, I love you, girl, but I clocks everybody. Nobody is exempt from getting clocked, and it's your motherfucking turn, right? So what happened was the producers on the show wanted Nneka to come to the show and be introduced to Wendy because they both two Nigerian sisters, so on and so forth, right? So when they went to Wendy to say, hey, do you know Nneka? Wendy listened to that question and took it literal and said, no, I don't know her. So what Wendy was trying to explain is that she doesn't know Nneka personally. That is why she said that. Because, oh, no, I don't know her. No, you don't know her, Wendy. You don't know her. But what Nneka was trying to explain is that, but I have been introduced to you and we have met on a number of occasions. The only thing you had to do, Wendy, was say, listen, I don't know the girl personally. I have met her a few times, but I don't feel comfortable bringing her on the show because I don't know her personally, but I do know who she is. You was trying to play the game of semantics and make it seem like you didn't know her when you know what the fuck they meant. You knew what they went. Wendy, you looked absolutely crazy. Your face looked surprised the entire reunion. They had you two pulled back and your hair looked a hot fucking mess. And then you had all this embroidery around your fucking neck. I wasn't feeling your look this time, Wendy. And I didn't like that because in my opinion, you are the most fashion forward girl on the show. And now, well, always, because they all pretty much trash and dressing other than Aunt Karen. And you also have looked good at other reunions, in my opinion. So seeing your face yanked back like a feline, it's summer in New York City. What can I do? Anywho, I didn't like it. I didn't like whatever that was that they glued. I didn't like none of it. And then you kept looking surprised, so I didn't like it. But anyway, you tried to play the game of semantics with Nneka. And again, I'm not a fan of Nneka's, but you knew what you was doing right there. No, you don't know the girl personally, which is what you could have said. Listen, I don't know Nneka well enough to vouch for her coming on the show. But have I been introduced to her a time or two in the past? Of course, I know who she is. You just kept saying, because I really don't know her. Wendy, shut the fuck. You know what? So anyway, with that whole bullshit, it got on my nerves. So then they asked about Osu, right? And you know, folks have to be mindful, right? Because everybody comes from different backgrounds and everybody's background follows a certain cultural lifestyle that they take very seriously. For example, my dad was a Panamanian and he had a lot of things within his culture that he took very serious, that he instilled in us. So you can't really play with people's culture and background and things of that nature. So I just was like, yeah, I think they should have stayed away from this altogether. But Ashley needed a storyline, so they got on with it. So anyway, Andy was like, well, what's going on with Osu and what is it really and truly? And then Andy rehashed that Ashley was actually the person who brought it up. And then he asked, what does it mean? So Nneka and Wendy, Nneka I could see was like about to try to make an attempt to say something. I don't know what it was, but when she tried, Wendy was like, Ashley, since you brought it up, What is it? You feel free in sharing? So Ashley basically was saying that, really, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is not what she said, but this is how I interpreted it. I don't know a motherfucking thing about that. I honestly don't give a fuck about any of that. But I do care about that. I have absolutely zero storyline, and I know I'm very good at antagonizing the situation and then stepping back and acting like I don't know it happened. So that's what I did in this situation because I needed my name to be attached to something because it's not attached to anything else. And if I don't have a storyline, they may kick me off the show. Okay? Sorry, but not sorry. That's basically what Ashley said, right? So Nneka at that point had basically shared that after Ashley said all of that, Wendy, you can honestly see in her face that Wendy was thoroughly disgusted that Osu and all of that and the shrine and all of that was even brought to the show. And I do respect that because like I said, you have to be sensitive to folks and things that they take serious within their culture. You cannot laugh and joke about that because a lot of these things for these people can be life or death. If they're not followed or if they're not adhered to. So what I got from it is that all of that with the whole shrine and Osu and all of that, that's a very serious thing in the African community and in the Nigerian community. And I think it was just best that the show stayed away from it. But Andy did say something that I felt was true, which was this was happening in real time and in real life. This is a reality show. So we're going to have to discuss it, right? So, okay, boom. That was the situation with that. What Nneka said that I like this, Nneka basically said, and Ike said it behind her too. They was like, listen, it's very taboo. It's not up for discussion. We're not comfortable as Nigerians discussing it here with any of you, right? And basically all the Nigerians on the cast agreed to that and the rest of the cast respected that. It was like, okay, got it. Wow. Someone, New York City. Anyway, so they got off of that because everybody respected their wishes and so on and so forth, right? So Andy tried to move forward. Nneka apologized and was saying how, basically she apologized for calling Wendy's mom a witch. And, she wanted to try to move forward and blah, 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 blah. Then she did something that I explained to you guys last, again, she just was too immature for the show. She was too immature for the show because at that point, remember when I said in my last review, I was like, when she was talking to like Robyn, she was telling Robyn how nervous she was. And then she was telling Mia that, I didn't do anything and I stayed quiet and I listened because they said that I would get my chance to speak at the reunion. Again, it gave me immature then, and what she did right now gave me immature, which was, in a sense, you could tell she felt like she was like getting Wendy in trouble, like she was tattling. She was like, basically like, let me tell you what she did. She tried to ice me out and she tried to turn against me and she tried to antagonize me and belittle me. Nneka. I know that you're 8 years old, right? But right now, you're showing up physically looking as if you're an adult. So I need you to take some motherfucking acting classes so you can know how to act like one. Because nobody gave a fuck about what Wendy was doing to you. We didn't care about that. What you needed to do was put your big girl panties on and say, okay, bitch, we rumbling. Let me get my motherfucking gloves. Let me get my motherfucking gloves because if we boxing, let me get my gloves. For you just want to get boxed out and oh my God, she's hitting me, she's hurting me. Tell her to stop. You're not a little kid. So once you said everything that Wendy was doing, Wendy sat there like you were fucking invisible with her face pulled back like she was in the fucking litter box. And everybody else was like, okay, so like we were saying about the reunion, and they carried on. So it was like you didn't even say any of that. Anyway, they dismissed the husbands. Okay, good to see you guys. The husbands didn't really say anything other than what I told y'all. Chris basically said in the last episode, Happy Eddie is, listen, Happy Eddie said, listen, let me tell y'all something. I got my cannabis business. I'm an attorney. I got my degrees. I got my wife. She got a BBL. We on TV. I'm getting to that paper. I'm chilling. So Eddie was like this. Eddie didn't have a care in the world. I'm telling you, he was sitting there holding his white face back like, I'm here for my girl. So the guys was really, really quiet. Ray, once again, was back there respecting the institution of marriage. He just boom clocked his card when Andy played him with KURN face. And G, I told y'all, was I'm not talking about G anymore. So anywho, Ike and Ike was just there looking at G like, nigga, you know you done fucked up, right? Yo, I was cracking up. You could see in Ike's face, he knew that G and Mia was full of shit. He was like, how long y'all gonna let this go on? Like, so anyway, they let the guys go, right? So when they let the guys go, the next segment of it was Keiarna came out. I personally liked the snippets of Keiarna that I got on the show, right? I liked that. I liked every scene that Keiarna was in on the show. I liked Keiarna. She seemed very down to earth. She was fashionable. She looked gorgeous. She seemed very genuine. So I was like, okay, girl, nice to meet you. Another new character. Another new cast member. Somebody to partner with Wendy and Candiace because they need support because they getting beat down. So I liked Keiarna on the show, right? Keiarna that showed up. Yeah, I gotta leave my glasses on. Keiarna that showed up at the reunion. Not that I disliked her, right? What I feel like is Keiarna watched herself back on TV and said, okay, I see what I look like and I want to look like something else. So she showed up, in my opinion, in an attempt to shift the narrative from whatever we saw on the show, because I don't know, something seemed very phony and like, all right, boom. First of all, I didn't really care for, like, I don't like adult braces, and that's no shade. That's just my personal preference. Like, case in point, I have a gap. I'm going to get crowns to close it. I don't like to, I personally, and this is my personal opinion, I'm not really fond of seeing adults with braces. Do I know why they do it? Yes. Do people's teeth look beautiful after? Yes. But for me, something about it, I don't like seeing it, right? So I didn't like that. And it was like, oh, shoot, you didn't have that before. And then I didn't like the eyebrows. I didn't like that. I didn't really like what she had on. I didn't like any of that, the physical, right? And then when she started speaking, I don't know. She didn't come across as genuine as she did on the show. She came across very like, oh my God, I just want to be here and like, just be great. And like, I want to love everyone. Everything be great. Everything great. And great. Yeah. Who the fuck is this? I didn't see that Keiarna on the show. So I was like, okay, girl. Oh, this the new you? No problem. Maybe, everybody getting fired up and you trying to get the new spot. I don't know. I just didn't like that person. I want to go back to how they introduced you. But anywho, so she came out there and they started saying how people knew her and who they knew her through and who she knew, right? Which was, excuse me, you guys. She knows Wendy through a friend. And the friend felt like because of her personality and Wendy's personality, they should meet. And they've been cool ever since. It's been like 5 years now. And she knows Giselle through Giselle's friend named Cal, who is also a cosmetologist. And she's into cosmetology, right? So she said her and Cal are very cool. He's very nice to her. That's how she met Giselle, right? When they asked her, they was like, okay, well, who did you get close to during filming? And basically, she went around the room and named everybody but me and Ashley. I was like, ooh, shots fired. But as the time going on, you get to see why she didn't name Ashley, right? Then they brought up how multi-hyphenated Wendy is. She's a mom. She's an author. She's an entrepreneur. She's a professor. Like, they just brought up all the Wendy stuff. And I admit it was very nice to see them list Wendy's accomplishments. That's nice. And if you're not a hater, that's also very inspirational and aspirational for you, because you're looking at it like, wow, girl, you got all that going on. That's a beautiful thing. So I love to hear all of the things she said she had going on. She was like, and with her newest endeavor, which is her talk show, she got Latavia Roberson to come on, the former Destiny's Child member. So they was clapping it up about that. And like I said, you could see Candiace trying to have her back and like, list your accomplishments, girl. Yeah, boom, 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 brag about yourself. And she like, yeah, I do this, I do that. So it was very nice. It was very nice to see an accomplished black woman list all her accomplishments and have them be successful. So I love that. They was asking, Andy was asking her, does she still teach? And she was saying, yeah, but she's considering, retiring from it because, she just wants to spend more time with her kids and with all the businesses she has going on. These last couple of years haven't afforded her the opportunity to do so. So that was fair. She said her daughter's going into kindergarten and, she just wants to be a little bit more hands-on because she missed some things in the past, which is commendable and respectable. So I love that for you, Wendy. Whatever you decide, much success on your future endeavors, and you are a woman to be proud of. Right. Okay, got that part out. Right. They talked about how banging Eddie's cannabis business is. I told you Eddie said in the last 2 months it's grossed him $2 million in the last 6 months. I was like, that's why Eddie was sitting up there happy. Eddie was like, y'all niggas can't get under my motherfucking skin. I got it going on. So Eddie was chilling and grinning and skinning, and they brought that up about during Wendy's package. Then they had the nerve. I hate them shady cards that Andy be making up all the questions for and acting like viewers and everybody else is doing that. So on the cards, he read that they basically wanted to try to harp on the fact that in the first couple of episodes, Wendy called Mia slow. And they were saying, with you being an educator and knowing how sensitive and like Mia used, we got to be careful with buzzwords. Shut the fuck up, Mia. So anyway, when they tried to bring that up, I didn't give a fuck, or I didn't want to hear. I don't give a fuck if Wendy created education. Last year, when motherfucking Mia drowned Wendy and Bessie had pool with that drink, I don't care what she called motherfucking Mia. I don't care. She is slow. She's a few other things that I won't list the fuck here. So I was looking at them like, y'all can shove that one up your ass because nobody cares, right? But they tried to bring that up, and then Wendy apologized for calling Nneka a crackhead, and they got on with that. Then they ran Ashley's package, which again, I was like, oh shit, Ashley, you at the reunion? Totally missed that. So anywho, oh God, girl. Ashley basically said she's getting divorced in 19 February. She uses the Amex sometimes to buy new boobs. What else Ashley had going on? They asked, which I thought this was weird, right? And you guys drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on it. And I would especially like people with children to let me know their thoughts on this because you might have a different response than me, right? They was saying to her, and they was basically making it seem like it was a bad thing. They was saying that, well, if you and Michael get divorced, do you believe that he would still not support you financially? And basically she was saying like, no, I think that he would support the kids, but I don't think he would support me, so to speak, right? And they was all looking like, wow, I can't believe it. He wouldn't. No. The perks of being supported is you being my motherfucker, because you my motherfucking spouse. We're divorced. Support your motherfucking self. Now, granted, do we have children together? Of course. So do I have to take care of the children? Of course. But if taking care of the children requires me taking care of you, I may have made the wrong choice because you should be able to take care of yourself, whether I'm with you or not. So for me, I was looking at them like, I don't agree with the whole, take care of Ashley still after, but the whole panel was looking like, what? Who, what? So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, Giselle, was Jamal still taking care of you? Because your divorcee sitting up there and it didn't look like he was doing anything financially for you. We saw him do things for the kids. What did he help you with? Right? And Robyn. Never mind. I'm not even going to go into how broke y'all was when you and Juan divorced. So go to hell. They brought up the GNA fashion show. Andy shady ass was like, okay, so was the GNA fashions given Lululemon meets Savage Fenty? And the whole cast was like, Andy, GNA has no ETA, has no DNA. They are a CNA. Like, it was not, no, I'm sorry. GNA, the whole cast was like, Andy. Next question, okay? Nobody was here for the GNA fashions, right? Then they started talking about the fight. Let me take another fucking sip. I'm getting hot under the collar about to talk about this fight, right? Okay. So initially from the beginning, and I still believe this, right? Because of the way they were saying certain things that led me to believe this. And I even more feel that way. Sorry, you guys. I even more feel that way hearing what Keiarna said. I don't care what y'all say. And you know what? If you do have a different opinion of it, and you also feel like you make a sway my opinion, please, I beg of you, drop down in the comments and let's have this dialogue. Because my belief is, and I said this when I first heard the story, but now it's even more confirmed for me after hearing what Keiarna said. I feel like Deborah came over there on demon time, right? I feel like Keiarna is more gangster than Wendy and Candiace. I feel like when Keiarna's senses went up, like, oh, this bitch trying to up it, it was her natural reaction to go into up it mode as well. When she went into that, she started inserting and interjecting herself. And when Deborah sensed, oh, I'm really coming for this chipmunk looking little bitch, Candiace, but since you acting like you want the action, let me give it to you. And that's how y'all got into what y'all got into. Because from what Keiarna explained, my thing is this. If a situation is occurring between, I'm with three girls, right? And somebody comes over and they have an issue with one of the girls. If it's one girl having an issue with another girl, I have to stand back or de-escalate. That's the only two things I can do. And in an effort to de-escalate, I have nothing to say to the other young lady. I'm just going to say to my person, listen, let's go over here. Let's move to the side. Let's get away from this. But if I can't de-escalate, I'm getting out the way. Because when shit start flying and hands start moving, I don't want to accidentally get caught up in this crossfire. What it sounded like happened was you was doing stuff like positioning yourself to be in the way of the crossfire, and then when you get hit with it, act like, oh my word, she hit me, so now I have to hit her. Because the way she explained it was like, oh, she came over and clearly she couldn't get to Candiace and her energy was very aggressive and she didn't realize that I was in her peripheral. Why were you there? Why were you there? Once you see she came over on demon time, you should have been like, listen, this don't got nothing to do with me, so let me back up. And you're not backing up because you're afraid. There's nothing for you to be afraid of. Her smoke is not with you. Her smoke is with Candiace. So allow her to have that smoke. I believe you saw Candiace's ass was scared because you saw Candiace calling for production to get Deborah away from her. So because you knew Candiace was scared and because you come across like you about that, that's why when you was talking all that on the reunion, I was like, who the fuck is this? Because your energy don't suggest no You gave me straight the fuck up, be more. And I believe that because you got to be more in you, when you saw that energy, you got on go. And I believe Deborah was like, oh wait, bitch, so you want some of this too? It's up with all of y'all now. And that's my honest belief. That's my honest belief. I don't believe that Deborah came over and you don't realize. No, because the way you explained the story was like, how couldn't Deborah see you? How? How didn't she not realize that you were in her peripheral and she was being very aggressive? Yes, with Candiace. Get the fuck out the way. So from the story she explained, I'm still standing firm on what I thought before. It seems to me, Keiarna, that you put yourself in that predicament. I'm sorry. I think you put yourself in that predicament and I think you feel cheesy because now, like you said, you looked embarrassed, you were scared, and all of this bullshit, and the people that you put yourself in that predicament for, when push turned into shove, ain't none of the motherfuckers have your back. KURN was the one who rode with you in that ambulance. That's what I think. But again, going with the story, girl, because I was like, wait, what? And I'm going to run it back the way she explained it because I was like, girl, what is you saying? Like, why were you even in the way? Let them do what they doing. So I think it was BS. But okay, girl, you can make it seem like Deborah came over. Deborah wanted to smoke for Candiace. Deborah wanted to smoke for Candiace, and Candiace was scared. She was calling for production. And once you saw Candiace was scared, the B1 you told you to flex, and you got flexed on. Play pussy, get fucked. I don't know what to tell you, sis. Candiace. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If I'm being honest, I don't want to discuss Candiace. I'm gonna tell you why. And this is me being very transparent with you guys because you guys know I'm in the healing work. So I always have to be able to be very transparent about things. I am a words hurt person, right? I'm not a person that will automatically get physical. No, not at all. But if certain things are said, it can trigger me to feel angry enough to want to be violent, right? It's not my natural reaction to be like, oh, as soon as you say something, I don't like to argue, I'll punch you in your face. No, that's not me. But if you say something that cuts me too deep, it can trigger me to be violent. Most people I know is that way because of where I grew up and how I was raised, right? What I get from Candiace is she was not raised in the same environment that I was, that Keiarna was, and that many other people was, which is urban communities. So for that reason alone, she feels like I can use my words to assault you, and that should be okay because you should use your words back to annihilate me, but that's only if you can, because may the best woman or man win. What she doesn't understand, which is why I continuously call her immature and says she does not really get it and she's not living like an adult and this is not real life and this has nothing to do with me not liking her. It's just the reality of it. Me personally, right? I just told you guys, I am a words hurt person. That does not mean that I have to think the rest of the world is that way. With Candiace, in her mind, you know who else was like this? Kenya. Kenya Moore is like this too on Real Housewives of Atlanta. In her mind, the rest of the world should be the same. Oh, we should be able to fight with our words. That's the way you fight, Candiace. The rest of the world does not fight that way. Some people are triggered by words so bad that it makes them want to physically get violent. And for her, she don't care what she says to you. It could be the most nastiest and vile things. Because I didn't physically put my hands on you, I can say what I want to you. That's not real life. That's not real life. That's your gated country club community that you grew up in. Go back and live there then, in that bubble. But while you're out here in the real world, trying to be an entertainer, an actress, and everything else, you have to factor in that everybody did not grow up like you. So when you say those things out your motherfucking mouth, for some folks, you must be prepared to deal with the consequences. And that could possibly mean you getting your ass whipped. What part of that don't y'all understand? And it fucking infuriates me when people sit up there and say, well, they're picking on Candiace because what did Candiace say? This is the issue with Candiace and everybody else whose mouth is fire. Ashley, Karen, Giselle. I'm going to just use them three, right? They can say some things out their mouth that are very fiery, right? But after they say what they got to say, whatever you do back, they get in B-boy stands and they ready for it. They ready for it. With her, we have to go through sticky notes, cry angles, months and months and years of her fucking crying and being the victim. And that shit is exhausting to watch on TV. It is. Because you want to sit up here and be nasty and disrespectful and downright and gutter. But then when you get a response to that the other person sees fit by the way you offended them, now you more offended than them. How the fuck, y'all? I'm sorry. So for all of the people that sit home and say, well, what did Candiace do? And why is Candiace not allowed to speak? And is it because Candiace is dark-skinned? No. Candiace is allowed to say whatever the fuck she wants, just like the rest of the cast is. What Candiace needs to factor in, though, whatever comes behind what she says, we don't need to watch her cry for 7 months about it. Nobody else does that. Nobody else does that. No other cast member does that on no other show. They take their lashings because they know, listen, that's what comes with the territory. She cannot take her lashings. That's what's exhausting to the viewing public for people like me who is not a Candiace advocate. It's annoying to watch. It makes you dislike her. Because you look at her like she's a very immature little kid because she cannot take responsibility and accountability for the way she may trigger people. If you're saying, okay, so Robyn, this is what her reasoning was. Robyn, she felt like Robyn had partnered with Giselle to do something wrong and this and that and that and this, right? So because of that, she felt valid in going on public platforms and speaking ill of Robyn. That's what she felt was okay because she felt Robyn did something to her. That is okay. But now you mortify and you spending the whole season acting confused about why Robyn cut you the fuck off. The same way, Candiace, you was mortified and didn't like what she did and you made a consequence behind it. She was mortified and didn't like what you did and then she had a consequence. What the fuck? Listen, it's no way for me to break that down. It's no, like I said, Candiace just stood up there and said she didn't do really pretty much anything to Deborah. Deborah just kept picking on her. And I felt like, no, Deborah did start it up by lying on your motherfucking husband. And you did get her back by calling her motherfucking Sesame Street. And what happened was that Sesame Street went viral and that's now her name. And because of that, she's embarrassed and ashamed. So now it's her turn to get you back. And for you, you feel like, well, because you did it first, you shouldn't want to get me back. She can do what the fuck she wants. Be prepared for war. And if you know you wasn't going to be prepared for war after your actions, because of her actions, you should have never even gotten a ring with the fucking girl. But to get in and say, oh, no, I only wanted to fight one round. I'm out now. That's not the way real life works. I'm sorry, it just isn't. So for those of you that don't understand, I explained it in fucking detail. That's the way life works. Everybody is not you. Everybody is not going to see things the way that you see them. Everybody's not going to handle things the way that you handle them. And because of that, you have to move accordingly if you're an adult. Only children cannot make that assessment. So for me, when she started talking about her calling her a vermin was the response to her getting in her face and she never did anything and the line is always moving and all of that. I just was like, yeah, Candiace, you never did nothing. You're leaving the show. Who cares? You know, so another thing that I found very weird and odd was they asked Giselle, well, whose fault was it? Giselle said it was Deborah, Candiace, and Wendy's fault. You know what I found even more sad? Mia said to Giselle, everybody was saying, but in my opinion, it was Mia that really made her turn the other cheek. Because Candiace, I think Keiarna, Wendy, Mia was saying, but what does that have to do with Wendy? And then she said, okay, well, I'll take Wendy out of it. I believe if only Wendy and Candiace would have been saying what that have to do with Wendy, she would have stood 10 toes down on the fact that, bitch, I blame you. I blame you. It's sad. It's sad. It's very, very sad. So, Candiace, like I just told y'all about her, she started crying and saying that, oh, Andy asked her, he was like, well, you know, you did pick up the bottle and so on and so forth. What were you prepared to do with it? And she said, I don't know. I don't know. And then she got very emotional and she stated the reason why she doesn't know is because she's there by herself and she can't anticipate anybody having her back or fighting for her. She's there alone, so she has to fight for herself. You do, Candiace. You know why? Because when you start to say those vile and disrespectful and mean and nasty things, you don't consult with anybody else before your guns start blazing. You just start blazing. So now when you get the repercussions of your blazing guns, you want all us to come to your defense. Maybe if you would have consulted with us before you let the clip loose, we would have told you don't even go there so we wouldn't have to come to your defense. You wouldn't need anybody fighting for you. If you learn to grow up, if you learn to speak to people accordingly. And if you can't, let's just say you want some, listen, that's my motherfucking mouth. Then you have to go back and live in that country club gated community that you grew up in because that's where that's tolerated. Out here in the real world, baby, you will get your ass whipped. Okay? And that's why I told y'all in my last review, that's kind of fake why I wanted Michael to sue you, not win the lawsuit, but I did want him to sue you because I wanted you to see that there is repercussions for your mouth. All you did was talk about this man. That's all you did. Even when times it wasn't even concerning you. There's repercussions for this. And you need to get that now, sweetie, because you're expecting anyways, so they started questioning Ashley about why she invited Deborah. And Ashley basically was saying, like, you guys forget Deborah is my homegirl. Me and Deborah cool. Deborah ain't never showed me no violent side to her. I like Deborah. So I was like, girl, come on through and support my motherfucking business. Now, again, you guys keep forgetting, Ashley has no storyline. So once again, just like with Wendy and Nneka, here we go again with Ashley. I have to be involved in something to keep my name alive on the show. Because other than that, what would they have to ask Ashley about on the reunion? It couldn't have been about Michael because we don't know if he's telling the fucking truth because we never saw him all season. So our line of questioning couldn't have been about Michael. A lot of our line of questioning had to come from what happened at the fight because you are the person who, in a sense, and you are the person who kind of, sort of instigated it inadvertently by inviting this girl. Because you saying in the same breath that she already told you she had some choice words for Candiace, and you still saying, well, girl, come along. Yeah, I need you to come along and stir up some drama because I have no storyline. I need to say something to Nneka about Osu. I have no storyline. So that's why I said people pop junk and say Ashley need to leave the show. Ashley don't need to leave. What Ashley needs to do is constantly be clocked every time she starts some bullshit. But she needs to be on there to start some bullshit because really and truly, that Wendy and Nneka thing, even though it was exhausting, it was why many people watched. It did garner another set of fans, especially the Nigerian community. And also that fight is why people watched. So Ashley need to be there, whether y'all like it or not. She just needs to be clocked every time she starts some bullshit. And that's what happens. She wiggles her way out of the clocking, right? So therefore, she's able to do it again. No, you got to be on her motherfucking head top. That's what that is. So anyway, she's basically saying, I invited her because that's my homegirl and I need the storyline. Again, ding, 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 ding. Well, what Ashley did say was, she was like, but you know, Keiarna, I do want to say to you. And she basically gave Keiarna an apology because she didn't want for that to happen to her at her event. And Keiarna basically said the long and the short of it is, I hear you, girl, but take that apology and shove it up your asshole and cough it out your mouth because it means absolutely nothing to me. But I do hear that you did give me one. Anyway, so, I mean, that was null and void. And I think Ashley was looking at her like, bitch, you're not even a cast member on this show, so I don't give a fuck if you accept that shit or not. But, girl. And that was pretty much the long and the short of that. Then they started saying to Keiarna, you know, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And she was telling about her experience after the fight and saying how, you know, how scared she was and how mortified she was. And she was saying, you know, in those type of moments of adversity, I'm usually used to having family around me and my mom. She was like, so I want to really shout out our KURN. I told y'all, y'all be popping shit about the grind down, but she that girl. She that girl, because on KURN held her down. Not Wendy and Candiace, on KURN. Okay. Anywho, KURN held her down and she started getting emotional. She thanked Karen. Karen was like, listen, I would do that for any one of y'all, including you, Robyn. Right on KURN. Stay on motherfucking Robyn head top. Right? But she basically was saying how all the ladies, Keiarna was basically saying how all the ladies had reached out to her, had checked in with her. She appreciate that. But then here go the jab now. Which, let me go back. I want to say something too. This is why I feel like if they do decide to bring Keiarna on, I think that's where Giselle going to direct her attention because remember I told you in the beginning when Giselle was like, when they was like, oh, well, how you know the girl? She was like, oh, I know Wendy because boom, boom, boom. And I know Giselle because Cal, right? So when they said how she know Wendy, they bounced the camera over to Wendy. Wendy like, yeah, my girl, dee. They say she like, dee. They got to Giselle. They was like, yeah, she know you from because Giselle was like, I was like, ooh, that's a little shady, right? Boom. Now, fast forward to where I was at. Keiarna was basically thanking everybody for reaching out to her after physical altercation, giving their blessings. She was like, y'all spoke so nicely about me on the show, so highly of me. I really appreciate y'all. She was like, yeah, but after the fight, and everything I heard from everybody, but Giselle, I didn't hear from you. I was very disappointed I didn't hear from you. And Candiace and Wendy was like, yeah, you wouldn't hear from her. You only heard from her the last time because she wanted to make like we was bad friends. We wasn't good to you because she's a calculated ass green-eyed bitch. But, yeah. And Keiarna was like, yeah, I didn't hear from you. Girl, listen. Heavy is the head that wears the motherfucking crown, girl. Heavy is the head. In those moments, Wendy, Candiace, Matter of fact, I give you an example when Wendy did it. When they was like, oh, why you, and Candiace, why y'all didn't reach out to Mia for boom, 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 boom. And I watched them sit up there and try to give all these excuses why they didn't reach out. Why my hair is like this? Why they didn't reach out to Mia. Instead of standing 10 toes down and we don't fuck with that bitch. And we came up with a united front to say fuck her when she was going through her bullshit. But see, they don't know how to do that, so they pussyfooted around it. Candiace was like, oh, I just hate want to be involved. And Wendy was like, I had just felt like I was doing you a courtesy right now. Shut the fuck up. When that camera zoomed on Giselle and Keiarna was like, I had not heard from you, Giselle basically was like, and don't plan on. I had a dying motherfucking parent and now I got a dead pappy. Girl, you was not even a speck of a thought on my mind. You got that? I was like, woo. So then she said something and Giselle was like, and then she said to Giselle back to throw shade. Well, no, because when your dad passed, I did call you. I did reach out to you. Giselle said, and we spoke. Bitch, what's up? Like, so see, that's what I mean. You see how when Giselle be fucked up, she's standing it. She's standing it. And that's why Wendy and Candiace pandered to her. Because they can never stand in their shit. And I said this on my other review, and I'm going to say it again. A poor example of dark-skinned women on a show with light-skinned women. Because I'm not going to lie, that is what people say. That, you know, they make it seem as though light-skinned women are up on a pedestal and dark-skinned women are beneath them and people, you know, treat them like they're queen bee and all of this and all of that. Me personally, I have plenty of light-skinned friends and I don't have that issue with them because I don't feel like I'm above them and I don't feel like they're above me. We're all on the same level. But if you walking around allowing someone to put on a crown and you lifting up their throne, then you are placing them above you. And that's exactly what y'all do for her. Because when y'all confronted about y'all BS, they be having y'all stuttering Stanley. When she confronted with her, she like, what's up, bitch? And she told Keiarna straight up, you wouldn't hear from me. I wasn't thinking about your motherfucking ass. Ooh, ooh. Meanwhile, when Mia said she didn't hear from Wendy and Candiace, they started pussyfooting and trying to maneuver around why they did. So anywho, these are the things that I peep, but I'm a mind my motherfucking business. So then Andy made one last final ditch effort to mend some friendships. He was like Robyn and Candiace, and here we go again with me giving y'all another example of the pandering that I mean, right? All motherfucking season, Robyn was making it clear, I'm not your friend, and you shouldn't want to be friends with me. Andy says, Candiace, Robyn said, listen, I ain't got no beef. I ain't got no anger. I'll say this. The type of friendship we had and what we went through, this is not something that can be mended in a day. Robyn was basically saying, Andy, this is a nice way of me telling you, don't ask me that shit right now because I ain't thinking about this whole, but I'm going to make you believe I'm being optimistic because I know my contract is up and I'm really trying to make a ditch effort to save my job. Candiace said, well, I think I'm more in the friendship the entire time, and I'm just ready. I'm in a neutral space. I'm good. But here's the pandering. Here's the pandering. You the one that said we not friends, so if you want us to, you know, give it another go, it's the ball is in your court. Candiace, what the Candiace, the ball is in her court. Bitch, you shouldn't even be at the stadium with this bitch. What's wrong? What? So you mean to tell me if Robyn come back and say she want to be friends again, y'all gonna be cool like none of this never happened? I can't. And then with the I can't with them. I'm sorry. Y'all need to stop. They are whack. I'm sorry. Anyway, Nneka and Wendy. Nneka was like, you know, Andy, I have owned up and I have. And Wendy was like, shoe fly, don't fucking bother me. That was a no. Candiace and Giselle popped off from the beginning. Andy was like, you know what? It's over. And that was pretty much it. Andy went in the back. He got the pie. He gave them all a slice of pie, and they moved on. I want to let y'all know something right now. I'm so motherfucking happy we didn't see Charisse. I did not want to see Charisse, and I'm praying because we won't see Robyn anymore, that we won't see Charisse anymore. I don't want Charisse. I'd rather y'all go back and get Katie. I don't want to see Charisse. Robyn just acknowledged that she got fired. I don't want to see, I'm happy I won't see Robyn. Candiace bowed out gracefully because she's expecting, and I told y'all that. So give me my motherfucking props because I told y'all. And here we are. I'm very happy for Candiace, and I do think because she has yet to learn any lesson about her mouth, it can get her in further trouble. So I do think that it's best that she bows out gracefully. Allegedly, they said Nneka will not be returning. I don't know. She hasn't confirmed. But what I do know is whenever, just like with Robyn, whenever they say that somebody is not returning and they don't come out and say that's a lie, then normally they're not returning. They're just waiting to announce it on their own terms. Nneka deuces, we didn't need you. So Robyn's spot is open. Candiace's spot is open. Nneka's spot is open. I want to see who's going to come. Like I said in the beginning of this, if it's not people to come to like really even out the playing field and we just gonna have to rely on Mia be lying, I'm gonna check out. I'm not here for Mia's fake story about mental illness. I'm not here for the fake tears. I'm not here for disgracing that grown man, aka your husband. I'm not here for none of that. And I want to hear what the fuck on KURN gonna say about her DUI. We forgive you on KURN. How many days you got clean and sober? Show motherfucking chip on KURN. I got your back. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, boo. So we ain't bothering on KURN. On KURN's a staple on the show. And fuck y'all if y'all don't believe that. In any event, my review is done. That wraps up the season of Real Housewives of Potomac. If nothing else, it was entertaining and garnered me many more subscribers. I appreciate the dog fuck out of y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Before you go, if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel and please hit the notification bell so you can get all of my videos when they drop. Please make sure you hit the thumbs up because that is your free way of supporting the channel. If you have any commentary, do not call me, do not text me. I want to see it down in the comment section so we can have some dialogue about it. Once again, I do not delete, I do not debate. We will only have dialogue about it. Thank you guys for all your support. I truly, truly appreciate it. And stay tuned for more hot topics, healing, and humor. Mwah.